previous years, we've been given a piece of paper while we're out there at the meeting. Is there going to be such a paper tonight? So we have half an hour now. I'd rather look at it now than be given it out there and then have to take a break and come back in here and read it for half an hour. So
Yeah,
is there something?
I was waiting for follow-up questions.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to have a chance to look at it.
Are we ready to do that? Obviously, there's at least a good chance that that's going to be the case. So,
May I ask a question too, to the chair? So why we were in budget talks all week. Why would we talk about some of these things, or were these some of the things we talked about, we brought up before?
oh, there's some of the things we talked about.
Oh, okay.
Is that enough?
Like, you want to go over this, John, since you are handing it out?
There's not much to go over.
There's a lot to go over. I haven't seen any of this before. You have, obviously.
What?
Have you seen this before?
I gave it to him.
You gave it to him?
I gave it to him, wanted to pass it on.
Okay,
So I write it down. Is that okay?
who owns this sheet of paper? I'm
I
curious
do.
to know. Okay, would you like to
I
describe
don't
each
own it.
line?
I passed it out. Well, no. I imagine you could read it.
Who created it?
I mean, when we met with the mayor,
Never walks that.
budget, he goes
You guys,
through
this
each
is
line.
why. This is why. You know,
I'm
when you
asking
get
the
the
question,
sheet.
Jackie.
Who owns it? Who, blah, blah, blah.
Lisa, Lisa could quickly run through what the changes might
Well,
be.
that's why I said
What's
they
the human
could-
resources change, professional services, comes out of fire services line, ADP or no? That's the arbitration, legal, actuarial,
Correct.
anything. And again, every contract that we do, we have, we still got 2 outstanding contracts. You got TGM contract expiring in December.
Doesn't matter.
Anytime that there's any changes to the contract that may affect anything related to pension calculation requires an actuarial, and that's not pension board cost, that's a city cost. So
Mayor, it would also be any of the Midwest Clinic Services.
Midwest Clinic Services, so it includes both contractual random testing as well as new.
Higher workers' comp.
So we just won't hire people or settle contracts?
In that case, that $125,000 probably wouldn't even come close to it if we got all those attorney fees that would be added up, and it seems appropriate to consider in that case that we would probably have to have a budget amendment to cover it.
But you're only talking about attorney fees related to labor, so
Yeah.
use those with all of attorney fees.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the Midwest is
our clinic that we use that does all of our employment testing, workers' comp cases, and also our random drug testing that we're required to do by law.
Okay, I'm not clear. Whoever owns this piece of paper, or whoever's, who's ever drafted or decided on it, I mean, seriously, the mayor brought a budget to us with the administration, and
Yes.
we kicked through it with a fine-tooth comb for 4 meetings,
You
or
did.
this is the 4th meeting.
You did.
So my question is, I have to know, who am I asking, what does this mean?
What do you want? What do you want to know?
Okay. If we take out about half of the professional services line in human resources, what is the purpose of doing that, and where are we putting that money?
Well,
That's my first question. I
look
have a
down
lot.
to the city council line, and you'll see that personal services has been increased by $45,000. That money which you took out, or the mayor took out of the city council, essentially the price of, or the wages of, or the remuneration to our secretary, our council secretary.
So the purpose of cutting all of this assistance to every employee in the city is the council secretary? I'm just asking the question.
No,
I
there's
can
other
ask that
stuff in here.
question.
There's other stuff in here, but the
Okay.
council secretary will be part of this budget.
Obviously. Okay, so on that note, we had a couple of, well, I'm going to ask some more questions about this, and then we'll go back to the original budget. What does all of this mean in the Customer Assistance Center? Where is this money going?
It would go back to. the
It would go
special-
back to the general fund.
It would go back to the special revenue funds.
And what's the point? I'm not there. I thought we don't have enough people in the customer service center answering the calls.
Well, the most recent people moved into the customer service center, or moved in there without council approval.
They don't need council approval.
But that was already-
We're the
that
legislative
was
branch.
approved.
We're not the,
But I voted no on it, so I can bring it forward.
But we,
I voted no,
we approved a budget amendment with that in it.
but I voted no.
The majority
No.
did, right?
No,
It
you
was passed.
approved a budget amendment that anticipated.
So while you're looking for that, can I just, I know I don't like to discuss employee contracts or agreements or anything, but we kind of already touched on it tonight. So people who are in the call center, which was a negotiated rate for that position, and we all know is considerably lower than other positions. So what you're saying is more of these people are going to lose their jobs and go back to the regular department? Some will go back to the regular department.
I would
more of them will lose
anticipate
their
that they would
jobs.
go back to the jobs that they, or their departments.
At a higher rate? How do you do the math on that? I'm just curious.
because you have to put them back to where they were if they don't lose their job altogether.
You have to make budget amendments. You have to figure it out.
Where's the money coming from, John?
Are you gonna write check?
That's magnanimous, but where's the money
Bring
coming
this up
from?
more often in the study session.
I wish I had.
I know.
Yeah, I wish you would have too.
Yeah, well,
Because you were worried a minute ago about someone losing their job.
then we would,
Well, losing
Now five or
$5
six
pay, but
people
now
will
we're gonna-
to-
$5 pay?
17 to 22, it's $5 every day.
Was it 22?
Is that what you said?
I didn't say that. I said 20-something.
Just over $20.
Okay, I'm sorry, $4.50. So you're worried about them losing $4.50, but you're
Now a
not
bunch of
worried
people are gonna lose their jobs.
about them losing their jobs, as long as you can have a
Now, you're
secretary.
worried about their jobs now. You are worried about somebody losing their job.
Absolutely, always have
After 4
been.
years.
After 8 years, John, I've
After
been sitting
four,
here.
after 4 years that
After
I've
8
been
years on this
here,
council,
you suddenly are worried about people
I
losing their
have
jobs.
always been worried about people losing their job.
We've lost at least a third of our staff, and now you're worried about people losing their
I've
jobs.
always been about losing our jobs.
I-
We don't have
obviously.
enough money, John. Do you get that idea? Do you understand that?
I understand.
We do not
I
have enough
understand
money.
that you think we pay too much taxes,
Absolutely, absolutely we do.
and this budget doesn't do anything about that.
Everybody's hurting, John,
And
so
nothing else does anything about that. Nothing does
I'm
anything about
not gonna
revenues,
raise
does it?
taxes, no sirree.
Oh, I'm not even talking about taxes. You, last week, you were all kind of concerned about, not so much about taxes, because that wasn't even the question. It was other sources of revenue that you thought were just
No, John.
impossible
What I
to
thought was
accept.
people who are paying taxes in this
Ought to get
city
something for
ought to
free.
get a fire truck, be able to get a fire truck to come to their house. So people that are standing in their driveway in their pajamas, when their house just burnt down, they don't say, here you go, here's a bill from the city of Taylor.
And you're the very person
Compliments
that
of John
voted
Yeah.
against the SAFER grant that made it possible for people to have a fire truck show up.
We
Now
always
we've
had
got-
fire truck and we always had firemen,
The-
John. That's
the-
not
Oh,
true.
yeah, sooner or
Now we
later.
can't
That's
afford
not
to
true,
uniform
John.
them, but they're here.
Okay, okay, I understand.
But anyway, back to this, this information here. So you want to move money, it looks like. It would look like it's half of the people in the customer service center.
The half that was never approved.
So you want them all
None
cut.
of them were approved.
You want them all cut.
That was never formed by council.
It was
That's
that.
right. What is-
It's not a
what is
department.
Article A.
Yes, it is a department, you call it a department in your budget.
This
It's
is called-
customer service center.
Okay. So is it related,
They don't call it a
related to
department.
the 13-14 budget?
Yeah.
You know what, I'm astounded at is
Oh.
that math seems to leave the discussion here because it is a matter of math, John, and you know it. And you should know it,
You
John,
are
you've been here
astounded.
so long. And you were in HR. It's astounding to me.
I'm astounded that this council has, for 4 years, turned their back on the very real situation that this city is in. We don't have enough money. We have cut people where we couldn't afford to. we put together departments that aren't departments, because that would somehow make it legal for them to be made, so that we can cut people's wages. You know, this idea that you all of a sudden are all really concerned about personnel is just really exciting to me.
John, can I say something?
Oh, please.
When we went to the summit on happening cities that we went to for down there, one of the things they said that forward-looking cities and cities who are addressing the financial challenges that we all are, one of the lines they mentioned that people are doing besides consolidating and doing all kinds of creative, you know, implementing creative programs, were call centers. That's one of the ways most companies handle customer service, so that it is efficient and through a computer program that should be assisting that and facilitating that, because manpower is low. And this is a massive thing. Let's just say that all those people make $10 an hour, and they agreed to do that because they were laid off otherwise. That was the deal at that point. We were laying off many, many people from many departments. And to assist the departments that are shorthanded, like the clerk's office, who used to take 90% of the calls back in the day, to assist those departments so that they don't have to answer every single phone call that says, where is the post office? Where do I pay my water bill? There would be a centralized group of people that would do that in a very cost-effective manner. If those people, let's just say, are making $10 an hour, but if you have to take some of them and take $200,000 and put them back in a department where they make $20 an hour, you do understand that half of those people are not going to have a job, and we're going to have 50% less people answering the phones for the customers, the clients, the taxpayers. You do understand that math, right?
Well, first of all, I don't know that what we have is an efficient program in the customer assistance center. I've heard far too many stories about people who have just simply tried to wait out the system and it didn't work for them. So they hung up and they didn't get an answer to their question. So the question of whether or not, have you ever been in the call center? Have you ever?
Yes.
Have you ever sat there and watched what's happening there?
I've gone through there numerous times, and I've
Oh, I didn't
also
say
called
that.
it
I mean, have you
numerous
ever
times.
watched what actually happens?
I have.
And I've also
And you
called it
saw that as
numerous
very
times.
efficient, I assume.
Yes, and I've called a couple of times since our last meeting for different things for different residents, and I've gotten through within 1 minute.
And did you start out by saying, I'm Councilwoman
No.
Jill Brendan?
I
You
said,
didn't?
can I have this department or this department or this person? Who is it? Do I talk to in this
And
department?
what they do?
They transferred me.
They cannot transfer you.
They did.
They cannot transfer you. They have, that's not true. They have to ask you your question, and then they will get you your answer, and they will give it to you. They will not transfer a normal resident to a department. So that's false. The rule is, you can look up their rules. I'm not making it up. If you call and say, I'm John Henry, they're going to take your request, and if they do not know an answer, they're going to get you an answer and get back to you.
Okay.
So
Okay,
you
then.
are
That's-
100% correct.
That's right.
Right.
And
That's
it
the
made the
outcome.
point, in order for
But
the
she just said they
departments...
go through your department.
Those
That's
that-
not true.
But they did put me through
Those
to
that
a
are-
department because I said my name. But what I'm saying is in 1 minute,
You said no.
but in 1 minute, I got my call answered.
Of
They picked up
course,
the
I
phone.
get my answer.
So
when I
anyway,
say go
John,
on.
can I go back to our conversation here? I wanted to say one more thing.
Sure.
So that concept being that if you call DTE, you're not going to get to talk to the head of engineering regarding your downline. You're going to talk to an automated system that's going to do what needs to be done to expedite what you need. It would be nice. It would be nice if my friend Dan could get on the phone with you and chat it up, but he's doing his job. And that's the same concept here with the call center, and that's what was presented to us when we went to the summit, that cities and communities need to start implementing everything they can to be the most cost efficient they can, and to also do everything they can with limited resources to assist the community, the taxpayers, the